We will begin with a moment of silence.
Okay, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, thank you. We'll have to pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay, review and adoption of the agenda. And you have, I guess, does everybody have this?
You instructed everybody else, it was in their packet.
Oh, okay. So we're adding another quote, a second quote to 7D. Okay, look at the agenda and make a motion whenever you're ready.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
All in favor? Thank you. Adoption or approval of the minutes, December 15th, 2025, regular meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, December 15th, 2025, regular meeting minutes.
All in favor? Thank you. Public comments?
Yeah, one Bill Jones.
I just got a couple things real quick. Everybody knows who I am. The dehumidifiers, I see you got it on the agenda here, but they came this morning and they were gonna take them. And we just got the power turned on this morning. So I talked with them and they said they agreed that with their boss that they would go ahead and leave them for now. But those dehumidifiers have been sitting there since last Thursday and ain't gonna drop. So they just started today and they're working, don't get me wrong, but we need to dry that place out back. It's got so bad now that it's condensating between the picture frame and the picture itself. So we have a nightmare on our hands. I have a lady contacted me from the Department of Natural Resources. They're gonna meet me Monday with a team and help me go through some of that stuff and help me get some idea, whatever it is. And we're gonna start boxing everything up and putting it in totes or in boxes. And we're gonna put it in storage. Due to the fact that my understanding is that y'all's insurance company are gonna move the furniture, but we're responsible if China cabinet falls over and everything in it gets ruined, then that's our responsibility. So we're basically gonna unload the museum, box it up, put it in storage, then let them do what they gotta do as far as pulling the furniture out, putting the carpet in, and putting it back. Then we'll put the museum back together. I dropped over 80 pieces of clothing at the dry cleaners. And they're gonna put them in dry storage for us and hold them till we can get the museum back on its feet. But even the stuff that didn't get absorbed with water drew dampness and it's gonna start molding. So we had to basically take everything. I've still got a bunch that I gotta take off and take down there. But just another thing, there's a couple things. I want to work with the town, however we can work together to get this accomplished. Somebody said now it's time to throw in the towel. There's no towel involved. We're going to rebuild it. We're going to put it back together, bigger and better, whatever you want to say, before it's over. My one problem I have is I did not get a phone call. SB Hardware called me and told me there's a problem at the museum. You might want to go check. Now, why didn't I get a phone call from anybody? I should have been the first person that they called. And SB Hardware calls me and says, you might want to get up there. You got a problem. And when I got here, everybody's standing there with their thumbs in there. And why couldn't anybody call me? Oh, well, we were busy. No. Somebody should have called me. So that's my only really problem. But like I say, we have help coming. We have Department of Natural Resources. Murray's Mill reached out. Catawba Resources, Historical Resources reached out. There's 2 or 3 other outfits that have reached out Old Fort Museum reached out, Burke County Museum reached out. So we have help. It's just now we gotta get organized between us and the town hall and figure out what we gotta do. And there's one thing I need to say, if I make, that's me,
Yeah.
one thing, if I make a comment on something that we need to do it this way, or you need to do it, it's not because I'm trying to take away anybody else's knowledge or take away from anybody else's job. I've done this for 28 years. I specialize in demoing jobs, putting them back together and making them brand new. So if I say something, it's not because I'm trying to be a smart aleck, it's because I know what I'm talking about. So if we can all just work together, it would be much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. 6, old business. 6A,
We're getting some feedback from your end.
consider approval of quote from Stage Rag to purchase and install,
Rage.
Rage. There's an E on that, isn't there? Okay, to purchase and install projector and screens in auditorium. All right, is Logan gonna talk about that?
Okay, yes, so, and I did want to say, I did speak with Bill, I didn't get on site Wednesday until, right at 10 o'clock. I think Gary was there around 8:30, and he called me around 9. But at 10:14, I did speak to Bill. But again, that may have been after he had heard the news from SD. Specialist only got there around 8 o'clock. But in terms of the quote from Stage Rage, I did attempt to get other quotes. I reached out to a total of 6 companies through 2 different rounds of trying to secure a quote. Their quote for all the work, which includes a 10K standard lens, Visitech laser projector, a 9-foot by 16-foot roll down electric installation with the screen and projector, the HDMI hookups, all the cable hardware, and then the network installation, a flying side drop, which is the piece of the bag that we could project onto for stage equipment or stage settings, I guess, instead of physical settings, we can use it. And then the installation, basically everything came to $33,435.10. We did have approval last month, or 2 months ago now, for up to $32,000. The quote itself came in at $31,329.04, but the sales tax pushed it over the $32,000 limit. So we need a motion and vote approval by council to accept the quote.
We're gonna have to jump, are we gonna be spending a bunch of money on all these repairs and stuff? All the town's money?
Well, no, the insurance will cover the vast majority of it, but we will most likely have to front the repairs. And if you're talking about the water damage, like when we go into those quotes later on, yeah, we'll have to front those, but just realize that the quotes we have for now are just for removal and remediation. They're not for repairs or putting new flooring back in or carpet, drywall. It's just the repairs.
Okay. I don't want to spend any money on it.
As to the Stage Rage, if it's just $1,000 more because of sales tax, I'll make a motion for us to adjust the budget accordingly, so we can go ahead and get that done.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. All right, 6B, consider approval of quote to install carpet or laminate flooring in deputy's office.
Screens and stuff like that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, all in
Wait,
favor?
wait, wait, wait.
Oops.
Which one? There's
Which
2
one?
different, you can do carpet or you can do
I
laminate.
guess the two ones you got, I don't know.
Was
Much different than the price.
tile.
It's cheaper.
The, LVT.
What is this diamond studded carpet? 4,000. I tell you what, I'm reminded them years and years.
If this is for the detective's office?
Yes.
That has several rooms. That room down there is about this size, but it's been divided into a hallway and several rooms, so it's not just
Okay.
one big flat piece of carpet.
Okay.
They've got to do a lot of detail work.
Yeah, I think Gary did look to get another quote, but the second company, if Gary's there, he can get the name of them, but they said it would be more than what we've been quoted.
Now, the LVT is cheaper than two because the carpet is an add-on, right?
Carpet's cheaper. Second appraisal is cheaper.
Yeah,
Second quote is cheaper, I thought it was an add-on.
The LVT, the total is $7,200, and if you add the plywood, that's an additional $1,575. If you do the carpet, it's $4,490.
Okay. So the carpet tiles are cheaper than two.
Yes.
Yes,
So
carpet,
this is for the detectives.
Yes.
yes.
I thought it was for your office.
You know, the detective's office has a lot more wear and tear. It's used a lot more, so they're remodeling what they're. I haven't been up there in several years, so I'd probably say 20 years or so. So trying to up it up because they're having a lot of meetings there with other agencies, so they just want to make it more presentable and the carpet's weird and things. So it's all this is fine.
Okay.
The carpet tile will be similar to what's over in town hall.
Okay.
One thing to note on those quotes, it says that moving furniture is not included. Will the deputies be able to move whatever furniture they have out for the work?
Yes, so as soon as they find out a date, they plan on moving things around to facilitate that.
Okay, good.
Got more money, do less.
Okay. So now the 4490, that's just for the office down there. That's not counting the deputy's office up here. And if we add on the deputy's office up here, it's gonna be 1220.
Correct.
Now, I haven't looked at the condition of the carpet in either one of those areas. I mean, Gary, tell me, they're in bad shape, they're coming loose.
The detective's office is in need of it. And Josh may agree with me, but the deputy's office down here, you've got linoleum in the bathroom and carpet in the office part. It's nowhere near as bad as what's in the detective's office, and no more than what we use this office for. I wouldn't suggest doing that at this time.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to use carpet tile in the deputy's office in the hall.
Okay.
Or the detective's office, I guess.
All in favor? Thank you. 6C, consider approval of quote to install fencing around the back of auditorium under the addition.
Gary, do you want to go through that with them?
I can. So we had two quotes. We had Pfister fence, however you want to pronounce it. He came out first and gave us the initial quote. And then we had a second quote from Fence Pro, who actually did the fencing for the park 15, 16, 17 years ago. He was considerably higher. In my opinion, Pfister Fence would do what we need as well as the other one at a cheaper cost. Plus, he gave us a different quote also for the buyback on the fencing that we have purchased for the tower when we had it out here.
I thought that's what we was gonna use.
That won't work with what we need to secure. We need the poles in the ground, permanent poles. That is just a temporary security that they put on top of the ground.
Okay.
So he made us an offer to purchase our
Poles, top rails, and all of
13 sections of 10-foot plus the standards it sits on.
And it'll be fixed into the ground.
Yes, it will be drilled, anchored into the ground. That's also the inserts that go in the fence, the decorative, to make it look better, and slats. The slats, yeah, privacy slats that go in between the fence, chain link fencing. And that was Pfister.
And the office will have a 6 foot and an 8 foot.
I got a question I need to clarify. Which one has a reduction in price if they were to buy the fence, the existing?
Pfister.
I thought it was fence price.
Mm,
Lynn, do you remember?
So the way the quotes are listed,
Yeah, it's fence price.
Pfister provided a quote for the total amount of the work. Neither of their quotes include, or neither of their options include the cost or the value of the fence that they would pay us for. But the second quote from Fence Pro, first of all, they're more expensive than Pfister Fence, and they have already included a deduction for what they would pay us for our fence. So for the same amount of work, you're looking at saving $4,000 to $6,000 by going with Pfister Fence. Now, if you did for some reason want to go with Fence Pro, we would need to have them break out that quote and provide us a quote for just installing the fence and the labor, and then they would have to provide us with some type of offer for the existing fence.
Jerry, what do we need, 6 or 8 foot?
we're actually looked at 6 foot, but I think we're
8 be better.
8. Yeah, well, we're at the bottom of the green room to go up to that on the end where the road comes up in between the two auditorium and the school.
Yeah.
To keep people from hopping over the fence there and jumping down. So that side will go up to the bottom of the green room.
All right.
And that's,
And they go put tension wire in it so they keep.
yeah, and it'll also have a gate to where we can get in and access the backside where the HVACs are, the plumbing and everything like that. Because we have receptacles back there, we have ways for the homeless to charge their phones, and we just don't need anybody underneath there.
So 8 feet would go all the way to the,
On one side, yeah, on the side next that runs adjacent to the green room, the road that comes up, and the rest of it will be 6 foot. Now, Logan, did we stipulate that?
Yeah, so on the
I thought we
Pfister
did.
Fence quote, the first quote, or the first option is $6,776. That is for a 6 foot fence. The other option, that's $8,256, is for an 8 foot fence.
Okay,
So yeah, you need to go with the 8256 if you want an 8 foot fence.
and if I'm not mistaken, and Alice, I believe we have to put that in bid form for the purchase of
Yeah, it's the
the.
next item of business.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay. Now that's galvanized or the black coated fencing, the black coated fencing would look a lot better aesthetic wise. It would make it look better, and it really wasn't that much more. Yeah, the black coated, that's the one you're looking at. Be like our splash pad.
okay. If it was 8 feet all around, then nobody could crawl over it all, right?
Yeah, technically.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
And both options, both of them are for the black vinyl coated, right?
Yes.
He said galvanized.
That was, yeah, the original quote was for the galvanized.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to do the 8 foot black vinyl coated chain link fence around the area.
The only other option to go with that was to put barbed wire razor, and I didn't see a point in doing that.
Yeah, that'd be awful.
They got it down prison camp.
Okay, just letting you know.
Okay,
They call you Debbie, they get in there, they do shoot them.
Yeah, that's gonna be our jail.
okay, all in favor? Thank you. All right, now we're moving on to 7, new business. 7A, consider approval of resolution authorizing the disposition of certain personal property by private sale.
I did have one thing to say. So this is for the existing fence that we have that we're not able to use. So we're going to surplus it and sell it. So this resolution had the original date of January, so that needs to change to 2/4/26. And then also adopted on the 4th day of February. So that resolution will be updated to reflect that if it's passed.
You want to sell it?
Yeah, I have no issue to approve it for whatever.
Okay.
To dispose of it.
All
We
right,
don't need it, we don't need to take it up space.
all in favor? Thank you. 7B, consider approval of budget amendment for town events through June 30th, 2026.
Okay, yeah, I'll cover this. If you wanna turn to the attachment, we have a memo. The memo, at least the one I'm looking at, I don't think it was updated. Most of the things on this are accurate. So like the auditorium ribbon cutting for $300. The Valentine's Day event, has gone through. We couldn't get the vendors to, stick with, their end and what they needed to do. Royal Park Tail, so that's part of the events package that you approved, last year. That would be $200 per, month per event, so we have one per month. The July 4th celebration, we originally thought we could do it for around 10K total, and we can get into more of a conversation about that. However, just before we even get into a conversation about it, we had anticipated the fireworks show being the same cost as when HHDA does the fireworks, I believe in May. However, based on what we're hearing from the fireworks folks, is they're about 4 times higher, 3 to 4 times higher for July 4th, even if it's the same fireworks show. So when originally the events committee and if Haven or somebody from the events committee there wants to add anything to this, we had originally talked about on July 4th, we're expected to do the time capsule opening. You could look at it 2 different ways. You could just do an opening maybe early in the morning and have a small ceremony. You still have the press out, you still have speakers, you can still do something nice for it. But then the conversation kind of shifted with the events committee of trying to do a full-on July 4th. Like, let's do food trucks, let's do ice cream, let's do bands and a firework show. We were basing that concept off of the $63, I believe, $100 that the fireworks normally cost us. So, depending on what council wants to do with that piece of this whole memo altogether, you either need to spend a lot more, or we could lower that 10,000 number down if we just want to do a small time capsule opening and not like a full-on July 4th fireworks event. And then just for miscellaneous events that pop up throughout the year, having just a little bit of money to do something there, so we put in $600. So altogether, we had a proposal of 10.8. Which looks like it would be slightly less than the total, but it's because we have some existing funds in the budget that can offset the total. So really, we're looking at 800, and then plus whatever you may want to do for July 4th.
So we're approving the 10,000, and if we need to do a budget amendment, is that what you're saying?
Well, at this point, I'd recommend approving based on what we know right now. The reason being, and really what we need to figure out is what your thoughts are on the July 4th celebration. So the events committee was operating under the idea that we would do fireworks, food trucks, all that. But we have two issues. Number one is the cost of fireworks. In that $10,000 that we have under expected costs for July 4th, $6,300 to $6,500 of that was for fireworks. Since the time of putting this out and talking to several fireworks companies, unless something's changed, I think we were looking at like a minimum of $18,000 to $20,000 just in fireworks, plus the other $3,500 we may need. So that $10,000 jumped to like $22,000 or $23,000. So if you're really looking, that's a lot more than we planned for, and that's a lot more. I think that's more than we spend on all of our events combined right now. So unless you're just really looking to go above and beyond, and then the second piece to that is, I don't know at this point, Haven's talked to a couple of them. Some of them have availability. Some are like, hey, I've got one spot left. If you want to take it, if not, I can't guarantee it. So theoretically, even if we approve that 10,000 going up to 23 for July 4th event, a big event, couldn't guarantee that they would even make it out, the fireworks companies at this point. But the other option again is to do a small thing, maybe approve like $500 there, and maybe approve like a total of $1,300, and just do something smaller. But that's up to the council, because I know that's a big ask.
So the July 4th, the fireworks you're talking about, it shows 10,000 on the paper. You're saying it could go to 23,000?
So the 20,000, the only way that we would be able to spend 20,000 and get a fireworks show was if somebody that had already scheduled it with them canceled. The only company that I spoke to that could guarantee to come out and put on a fireworks show was $75,000, and it's because we would be buying out somebody else's spot.
Oh, gosh.
If you change your date from July 4th, you can have a fireworks show. It's because it's July 4th, is why it's so high.
But at that point, your July 4th celebration and the time capsule event would not be happening on the same day unless you are willing to change the time capsule opening, but that's been put in article.
And it needs to be at least a week, because they said even July 4th, July 3rd, people are already there preparing for the July 4th. So like a week before, a week after. They said, I think August the 2nd is the official signing of the Declaration of Independence, and a lot of people were doing their 250 celebrations that day. They could get more of a fireworks show more reasonably priced. So that's an option too if you change the date.
How much better price is it?
Well, the one that I talked to, I believe he said 7,000 to 10,000, but he'd have to come out and look at the venue. But we might could choose the original one and get, a 6,500 one,
Not sure.
which is what we normally pay on Memorial Day.
July 4th falls on Saturday, so I think whatever we do should be on Saturday.
I would.
As far as fireworks, I don't really want to spend that kind of money for fireworks.
No.
So if we could think of something else that we could do, some kind of band or something like that, it might be cheaper or something.
If they enjoy the fireworks,
Yeah, well, they'll say in May, I hope. They must have half a day, 50 days, I am in May. But this will be our next budget year too. So,
Some of the issue was also the fact that it's already January and we were trying to get a fireworks show on the books for July 4th so quickly because that's not our usual. So if you wanted to, we could focus on the time capsule for this July 4th, and I could go ahead and start talking to them about the 2027 July 4th and do a bigger fireworks show then. Because if we can lock it in now, they'll have availability, we'll have more of an option.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I'm sorry.
I can't hear very well. I don't have my hearing aids with me today.
If you wanted to, we could focus on the time capsule this year Cause a lot of the issue was that they were already booked out because we're already within the year.
Yeah.
So if I started on having conversations about the 2027 July 4th now, we would have more options and could probably get it cheaper.
That's kind of the way I believe it right now.
That's what we do, but like some time cancel.
Okay.
And then look at 2027, get a better deal.
Okay.
That's $5.
Yeah, it is.
Like going to the grocery store.
When you get out there, don't spark or spray.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, so many other places have
Oh, yes.
fireworks.
I know
So,
Valdez, Morgan, so. and
Yeah, in terms
they'll
of
most
other
likely go to
places,
those.
fireworks, Valdez, Morganton, some years they probably have to have it if they have a home game, but my understanding is that they have an away game, they don't.
Now, I'm kind of wanting to hold off on fireworks right now, but the Royal Park Tales, was that it? You said approved $800, but that's not including the Royal Park Tales, is that the story time at the park? When is that scheduled to start, like May or June,
It starts in March,
March?
second Saturday of every month, March through October. I already have 5 of the Saturdays spoken for local organizations or companies that are gonna come out, read a story and do an activity with the kids.
So the $1,000 is not something that if we got sponsors for, is that what you're saying?
They're not sponsoring it. The 200 a month would be a small snack and drink, like a juice box
Okay.
for the kids and like a coloring book or small activity pertaining to the company or group that comes out and reads for them.
And so we'll need to approve that along with the $800 if we're gonna do that, correct?
Yes, I think so.
Also, if you wanna do anything else on July 4th for the time capsule, that would be a little money too. So if
Out
you
of the
just
10,000.
want to do the time capsule, or do you wanna do a band and food trucks and all that?
Yeah, we need a band, so.
And we need to bring people in
Need a
town.
band, sure.
So that 10,000, then that covers the cost, well, it doesn't cover fireworks, but it covers the band. And,
Yeah, like 6,400 of that 10,000 was fireworks.
okay, so $3,600 pretty much for that as opposed to the 10,000.
Right.
So 3,600,000, the 4,600, and 800, the 5,400. So we're looking at that, about that amount. If I remember right.
Go 6,000.
Huh?
Go 6,000, you say 54?
Yeah.
Go 6,000.
If you don't mind my opinion, I'm worried that if we don't do fireworks and we try to do an evening event, that we're gonna have to really compete for a turnout if we don't have fireworks.
I agree.
So at
Yeah,
that
maybe.
point, maybe we could
I
do
agree
the
with
time.
Nathan, and Nathan, you tell me if I'm speaking out of line, but if I wasn't gonna do fireworks and this late in the game, given how expensive it is or improbable, you may just wanna really scale it down to just focusing on the time capsule. I don't know how much you wanna put towards that, maybe just do some food, drinks. If you wanna have some speakers, like some county folks or a county commissioner or chamber or something like that, you know, having some refreshments for them, maybe stick more towards that, because I think I agree with Hayden, if you don't have fireworks, I would bet 98% of people are probably gonna go somewhere that does.
The only other
You
thing
may
I
draw out.
The only other thing that I would wanna say is this is the 250-year anniversary, and the county really wants all the towns to participate and have a big event. And I think our original thought was to do this with a timeshare. So if we don't do that, then are we just not gonna do anything big?
what time of day will we want to do it?
Without fireworks, we had talked about doing it in the morning,
Okay,
10 or 11.
okay,
We could do some sort of nod towards the 250 during the event. Maybe have some souvenir keepsake that we could give out to people who attend, but
Well,
Yeah,
and
we need
how about
to
this?
get, we need to
Do
get
we wanna
turnout.
kick it back to the events committee since we have a little time? Cause we've not even dug it out of the ground yet, I don't think. So we still need to dig it up and make sure the contents are actually, something worth having people around for, make sure it's not just a bunch of ash and grit. But assuming we can dig it up and maybe have the events committee meet on it for one more month, would council want us to meet with them and then bring a recommendation back next month?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I just had a thought just a second ago. I guess we'll have fireworks on, Memorial Day. Should we move the, opening to Memorial Day instead of doing it on the 4th? That way we'll benefit from fireworks and the crowd is gonna be here for the fireworks on Memorial Day. We'll have a big crowd here.
And you could do your 250 celebration that day too.
I'm sorry, what?
You could do your 250 celebration on that day too.
Is that something we can do as opposed to opening it on the 4th?
Can I say one thing? Dave Faraday said he'd like to be here for that, for the Memorial Day thing. So he said he'd want to come and do a thing with the car show. Yeah, he said, I didn't know about the time capsule because I thought they weren't gonna do it till mid-July. But he said he would like to come and put the town in spotlight and do whatever he had to do. But he told me to call him a week before and invite him, and he would come and set up and do a news thing.
I mean, is that just for July 4th or is that for?
That's for Memorial Weekend.
Okay, so Dave Faraday will be here.
Yeah.
Then.
He said to give him a heads up, and he definitely wanted to come.
So maybe that's something we should consider. I don't know if the events committee needs to look over that or not. That way we can benefit from the fireworks that we've already got paid for.
Right.
And benefit from the crowds that HHDA is gonna bring in here for the, opening of it.
Yeah.
Maybe do one earlier. I don't know. That's something I guess the events committee needs to figure out the time on. Working with HHDA and we want a time capsule. But that's just my thought on it right now.
What do you think about that, Dave? What do you think of moving it tomorrow or Day?
We can work with it.
Can I ask one more question? Is the stuff that's in there, are they gonna put it in the museum? If it's,
After we,
right, are they gonna put anything back?
like for 50 years,
Right.
we kind of talked about that, but we thought, what did we come up with, David?
Everybody did.
Logan, as far as I remember, I think the committee was against that idea. Are you remembering that the same way?
Again, say that one more time.
Are you remembering that the committee was against doing another time capsule?
I think that's
I
what,
can't remember if they were again.
I think they were. I think we decided against another time capsule.
Just curious.
Yeah, and whether they're against it or not, I just honestly, I can't exactly remember, but if it's something council's interested in, then we can still do it.
That's ain't got nothing to put in, don't worry about it. Yeah,
I think most of the comments revolved around they were gonna be here in 50 years.
Yeah, we're not.
But, you were
I
there,
would've
you
been.
were collaborating for.
don't be here 50 years. I want to be 105. Plan on living 125.
Well, I'm 50 years, so we might as well do it.
I just figure we ain't got enough land to put in there. Just don't worry about putting anything like that. That's my opinion.
We'll have our museum. We didn't have that back 50 years ago, whenever we put it around. So, yeah, I don't know if we need another time capsule. So getting back to what we were working on, what do we need to approve? The $800 if we're, or do we wait till the events committee meets and figures out if they can make the time capsule and Memorial Day work together, or where are we at on that now?
Given that we have some money already in the budget that we can pull from, maybe it's cleaner and easier if we just come back next month or later in February, whichever we do, and have like an updated proposal for you to vote on.
Okay, sounds good. So do we need a motion to table it, or what do we need to do? Just,
No action.
No
No action. We'll
action,
bring it back
okay.
next month.
Okay. All right, that's all on that then. 7C, consider approval of quote to remove water from the auditorium basement and dehumidify the area.
Okay, if you want to turn, we have two quotes for the restoration of the basement. They're different. They're taking two different approaches. I will start with Third Pro.
Logan, this is the item before that one.
Okay, what is this one? I didn't hear.
This one is the Blue Sky 55 or 5500 quote to remove the water and dehumidify.
Okay, so the first one with Blue Sky, that one we really don't have a choice on approving. It was above 5,000, which is my purchasing limit, but we had to get the water out, we had to get the dehumidifiers in there. So we do need a motion to vote by council to approve that one. This is not related to the rest of the mitigation or removal of carpet or tile or desanitization, anything like that. This is just for the emergency visit they made to get the water out and leave the dehumidifiers.
how long does that have the dehumidifiers here? I mean, that's not for what they've already done, it's still, is it gonna be until it's dried out, or what is plans on the timeline for the dehumidifiers?
So the dehumidifiers, they were there working for a day with the generators. They came out the following day and picked those up. So we did get 1 day with them. But then they were reluctant to leave the generator out, so they wanted to leave them for when the power came back on. We attempted to get good power, have the power cut back on Friday of last week. However, they did not make that cut on. I don't have the exact day when or time they got the power back on. Gary may have that.
Today,
But how? Hear what?
this morning.
Okay, so they got the power back on this morning.
Yes, heat's going, yeah.
Okay, so at this point, now whether or not they charge us for the 4 or 5 days that they've set out there that they weren't in use, I was told by the manager that came out that they wouldn't. That may increase that bill slightly, not a whole lot, but slightly, because there's no generators and they weren't working. But if you're asking about what we're doing moving forward, depending on which quote you go with, they're gonna have different approaches, and I can go over that at the next time.
So we basically need to approve the 5587 to cover the costs that we've already incurred.
Yes.
Yeah, the current item of business, yeah, those are all things that we're already incurred.
Okay. Is that something that's gonna be compensated by our insurance?
The fire, when they had the fire, we had 300,000 plus worth of expenses there, and the insurance company reimbursed all of that, so we're not expecting them to try to cut out on this one, so I think generally what we're doing will be reimbursed. Unless there's something real specific they don't like.
Well, I make a motion to approve the 558734 for Blue Sky for the work that they're working on now, that we've already incurred.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. All right, now we're getting to 7D. Consider approval of quote to provide restoration and mitigation to the auditorium basement. And that's where you got your two quotes, right? Blue Sky and Servpro.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll break these down because they're, especially the Servpro quote is pretty lengthy. So the Servpro and Blue Sky are taking two different approaches in terms of what they think needs to be done. So with Servpro, starting I think on page 2, you have an outline of the general conditions. That includes your equipment, cleaning, remediation, a generator that they may or may not need. Now the power's back on, just depends. Fuel, debris disposal, and then 3 days of drying. The general conditions part of that, which isn't necessarily quote comes to $7,175. Then if we start to move through the quote, pages 3 through 5 talks about the band room. That includes removing the carpet, cleaning the tile, removing the drywall, applying an antimicrobial agent, and then 2 dehumidifiers, and then 2 dehumidifiers for 3 24-hour periods. For that room, that comes to $3,943. Then room 102, so they've broken this down by room. We'll keep going through it. Room 102 includes antimicrobial agent, cleaning the floors, and then a dehumidifier for 72 hours. That comes to $1,044. The entrance hallway, which is where you come in from the main double doors, just in the main entrance, they're planning to do the same processes in room 102, which again was the antimicrobial agent, cleaning the floors, and then a dehumidifier. Then moving on, we have the entrance to the band room. That is just a small little hallway at the bottom of the steps, right at the door of the band room, and then the doors on the left and right. They want to do the same procedure as the hallway, but on top of that, they'll clean the metal steps. That was only $583. The storage room includes applying an antimicrobial agent, cleaning the floors and walls, and then 2 air movers for 72 hours. The storage room comes to $717. Room 103 just includes a disinfectant spray for $72. The depot room includes disinfectant spray for $147. The hallway, which is the main area coming down through the center of all the rooms, that's going to get the same treatment as the entranceway for $1,435. Then for the ladies' restroom and utility room, it includes antimicrobial agent and floor cleaning, and that comes to, for those 2 areas, $700, or it's like $697 change. Room 108, it includes antimicrobial agent, cleaning the floor, and disinfectant spray. Room 108 comes to $1,097. Room 107 is the same treatment as room 108 for $900. Room 106 has 3 air movers and a dehumidifier for 72 hours and antimicrobial agent for $645. Room 104 only has disinfectant spray at $224. The men's bathroom includes a cleaning plus an antimicrobial agent application for $369. So the grand total for everything, now you'll notice it doesn't include removing any of the risers in the band room because they plan to dry that out. They think they can put some dehumidifiers and air movers in there, and they think they can dry the wood. They will remove the carpet though. So they're not removing any VCT, any of the tiles, either in the hallways, any of the rooms. Hold on just a second. And so their total comes to $20,042.40. Now with Blue Sky Restoration, they're approaching this a little bit differently. So in their estimates, give me just a second. For room 100, they're looking to remove the carpet, remove the VCT, which is the band room, remove the baseboards, remove the drywall as needed, cut and access opening into space and ensure all the structural framing is dry, and then doing a clean and sanitize post-remediation. Rooms 101 and 102, they plan to remove the VCT, remove the baseboard, clean and sanitize post-remediation. Rooms 104, 105, and 106, they plan to remove the impacted carpet and then clean and sanitize. Rooms 107 in the hallway, remove the VCT, clean and sanitize. Room 108, remove the impacted carpet, remove VCT, much remediation. Their total for this, because they're doing more than just the cleaning, they're actually removing the VCT, which may or may not need to be done. We can talk with Gary about that based on how the tile looks. But their total comes to $33,000. So it's not apples to apples because it is two different approaches. One thinks that the VCT, because it's on concrete, won't come off. But I think Bill has seen some of it, and Gary might have seen some of it. Some of that may be coming up, some of it may be fine. We may not really know until heat's been applied to it. That's what a couple people have said. But those are the two options. So, Gary, if you have anything to add to that based on what you've seen or anything that's changed since last week, council will just need to pick one option and go with it. And I think like what Bill said, the sooner you can pick, it'd be great to have a decision tonight so we can get somebody back in there, hopefully tomorrow as soon as possible.
I don't have the knowledge to suggest one or the other. I was just going by what the guys recommended and what they thought. Of course, it's only had heat on it for 8 hours today. I can't make that decision on the flooring. I wouldn't know which way to go.
The VCT flooring, you can actually use a moisture tester to test concrete underneath it. And H&A could probably come out and do it. They may even do it for free. To come out and test the moisture in the concrete slab. If it's above a certain percentage, the glue will turn loose eventually. If it's below a certain percentage, there would be no reason to change it. So has there been anybody check the moisture in the slab underneath the VCT?
Not yet.
Yeah.
He checked it in the
One of the
wood.
guys who came out to give a quote, he did have some device that he placed on the carpet and the VCT tile and the drywall. And it did come back negative for moisture on the VCT, but it did come back positive on the carpet and the drywall.
So who did that? Was that Blue Sky or was it Serpro? I missed something there.
Serpro.
Serpro.
It may have been a third person who came out to give a quote, but they didn't address anything but the band room, so their quote wasn't included, and it was more expensive than Serpro for the entire basement. But again, it was some handheld device. It blinked green if it had moisture, it blinked red if it didn't, or vice versa. I can't remember. But he did put it down on the VCT, he put it down on the carpet, and he did put it down on the drywall.
So he did check the moisture. That's what they're telling me.
Yeah, he did check for the moisture, but that was without, like I said, without heat or any air handlers. That was the day after they had pumped it out. There was still residual water there. The sheetrock, the wood, it was positive for it. I did not see him test the flooring, so I don't know.
So the way we could, Serpro didn't plan on any kind of demo for VCT.
No.
And if we discover there's moisture in the slab, that's gonna be an add-on to Serpro.
Correct.
And Blue Sky, they're assuming there's water in the slab, that the tile's gonna turn loose, so they're planning for the worst.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, it's two-sided, so.
One other point for both of them, I do think they have to test for asbestos. If they do find asbestos during the removal, then that could increase the cost of either quote.
Oh, it will.
But it's not currently included in the current estimate.
Well, it's hard for us to make a decision when we don't know what we end up with. Because Serpro, if they find moisture in the slab afterwards, that could actually run higher than the Blue Sky. At the same time, if Blue Sky is overestimated, then we're spending too much money. So how do we make this?
And once you disturb the tile, if it does test positive for asbestos,
The tile's not asbestos.
okay, the glue that you put down.
It's not asbestos.
Okay, well then we won't have that problem.
Neither one of them are asbestos. But I do know it's like a water-based
Okay.
pieces underneath there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's not going through the VCT into the slab, it should be fine. But if it's gotten into the slab, then it's gonna come up eventually. So. I'm not
Well,
sure
all
which way to
I
go.
wanna know is his price, they give us his price, it's not gonna be like DDEI, is it? We're gonna have to start adding this, adding that, they look down the job, that's the way I see it. The price is the price.
What if
I
we,
don't want to keep adding on, adding on, adding on, I mean,
The insurance
I don't want to
cover
delay
this
getting
more,
this done,
should
but what,
cover these expenses.
I don't want to delay getting this done, but what if we had Servpro include doing the VCT like Blue Sky is? And then we could compare apples to apples, cause right now, we don't know which one's right. But I want to get it done, as quick as I can, I just don't know.
Can I say
Well,
anything?
here's what you could do, is we could ask Servpro to include removing all the VCT, approve a quote up to the amount that Blue Sky has already provided. That way, if Servpro is under Blue Sky's amount, then we can approve them, but if they're not, we can go ahead and approve Blue Sky.
That's what I was gonna ask, if we could approve the amount of 33,056, approve that amount and then get a breakdown, and if it turns out, I don't want any surprises. If we have to take up the VCT because the slab's gotten wet, I don't wanna have to consider that next month, or,
If I could say one thing, if I can interrupt. You're right about the water-based glue, and I've seen it before, where that water-based glue is, when it's down, it's there to stay. But if it draws moisture and it liquefies and turns back to a liquid, when you pull the moisture out of it, it won't stick, it's gonna crystallize. Just like the picture that Logan had when they pulled the carpet up there, how that glue crystallized. VCT will do that. I don't care if it's on concrete, wood, or whatever. The two stockrooms back in the back have all the tiles already came up because it's plywood. The amount of water that was in the band room, the hallway, the conference room, and the storage room for that long period of a time, I can guarantee you when it gets dried out, those tiles are gonna pop up like you would peanut brittle. And it's sooner or later, it might not be. We had just had it waxed and sealed. Now, that may have prevented some of it, but wax only stays good underwater for so long. That water gets up underneath that tile and liquefies that water-based glue. It ain't like you gotta put mineral spirits or something on it, water-based. Once you put that water on there, it loosens the glue. When you pull the moisture back out of it, it's not glue anymore. It's a crystallized nothing. And basically, you're gonna end up a month down the road, they'll be popping up like peanut brittle. But that's just professional opinion.
And to that point, another thing to consider is if we did go with Blue Sky, because Servpro is just cleaning the VCT, they're not actually removing any of it. I'm assuming there's less involved in terms of moving contents out of the room. So we may have to hire a company that can come in and move if we choose to take up the VCT, which probably is the safer bet, like Bill's saying. Because a month from now, you may think you're done and they start popping up and you gotta get back. If you do that, and we can have Servpro put that in their quote, see what the price is. But if we do that, just go ahead and plan to remove all the VCT. There may be more moving furniture or cases or whatever's down there. Which may, one, delay it just a little bit, and two, may add to the cost that's not included currently, because we've not got any quotes or any numbers for someone who cannot actually move this stuff or store it. So that may be something we have to come back to council, or if you want to approve a not to exceed number, and not, that way we can go ahead and do it if it's above my purchase limit, but just something else to consider.
Logan, hey, it's Jared. Is there any reason to believe that insurance will not reimburse the VCT at all? I mean,
No, not that we've been told, because.
if they're gonna cover all of it,
Yeah,
then
that's just what I was gonna ask. If we're gonna cover, let's do the best.
let's do it.
I mean, that's kind of the thing, is the tile, and I will tell you this, the tiles were popping up in the closets. And again, it could be one of those things that even the adjuster told us that, down the road, they could start to pop up. He didn't think they would, but he did say that he already seen a couple that looked like they might be when I was walking with him. There's no way to know if that was power before or after the water. There's no way to know, but that would be the one thing to consider with surplus current flow is if they do start to pop up, you gotta do it anyway. You might as well just do it now because I can't remember if Rick or Gary said it, but insurance should cover it.
So why don't we can basically approve up to $35,000, let's say, and then you can get Servpro to show their breakout and include the VCT, and then you'll have apples to apples to compare. Go with that? I mean, what's our timeline on getting that done? I mean,
Servpro should be able to get a quote back this week, and I'll get a quote hopefully tomorrow. But either one, we would want to start this week if possible. And at least get the dehumidifiers in there or something.
Well, they're in there now. They came to pick them up this morning, and I talked him into leaving them. He called his office, and his office agreed to go ahead and leave them with your original contract you had with them, because we hadn't used them yet. So
Okay, good.
they were there this morning to pick them up, and I had them call their office, and they approved to leave them. So they're in there running now.
now is that Blue Sky, that equipment down
Blue
there
Sky.
now, that's Blue Sky?
Yeah.
So they're working with us.
And I'll tell you straight up, just my opinion, they are the most professional restoration company I've ever dealt with in my life. They're spot on. They know what they're doing. They're polite as they can be. They're there to help, and you can tell it by their actions, by the way they work. I was impressed with Blue Sky. That's the first time I've ever seen it, but I was impressed.
Whether we just want to approve Blue Sky's quote and go that route rather than, I mean, we can approve the 35,000, get Servpro to break it out, but we want to get started quickly.
Yeah.
They've already got their equipment in here and they've already approved that they're willing to work with us because they left their equipment here. Is that something we
Yeah.
want to
We
do?
can go
I
ahead
think
and,
let's go ahead and approve Blue Sky.
okay,
So make the motion to approve the Blue Sky quote for $33,056.20.
okay.
Now,
All in favor?
can I say one more thing? We need a couple of days, starting Monday, probably into Wednesday or Thursday, to get all that stuff boxed up and get it out of them rooms, so when they start moving that stuff around, cabinets and stuff, that they don't break anything. If they break it, it's on us. So Monday, I have a crew coming, an army evidently, and give us 3 or 4 days to get some of that stuff boxed up, get all the antiques boxed up and out of the way. That way, when they start moving that furniture around to do what they gotta do, that nothing gets damaged.
I'm sure they'll work with you on that.
He was saying maybe, I mean, they could start, but there's a lot of issues that we gotta get resolved before that.
I'll make a motion to approve the $33,5620 for Blue Sky.
Okay, all in favor? All right, thank you. 7E, consider approval of quote to change lighting in the auditorium basement.
Yeah, so, I was actually approached, and Bill Lane can fill you in more on this. But I was approached by Bill, they're looking to, replace the current lighting with LED lights, and, I think there's a Duke Energy rebate program to do it. Bill, if you want to give them more information, since we're doing everything else in there now, if you were willing to do it, it would be the time to do it, especially with everything being moved out, but, Bill, if you have more information, that'd be great.
What started this is that I've already replaced like 8 balusters and a couple of boxes of bulbs. Now it's just a chain reaction. Baluster going bad. As of right now, there's probably $1,200 or $1,400 in repairs that need to be done just to get all the lights back on. I got with the electrician, and I know this guy really well. He's a super good guy, but he told me the bottom quote is actually the one that really needs to go with. The Duke rebate is $25.34. If we sign a quote, that rebate goes back to the supplier house. So we don't get the check, and then we have to take it to them and all that. We just signed the Duke release. when the rebate comes, it'll go back to them. So the whole cost to replace 57 lights, the bathroom lights, new bulbs, take everything out, just take that all out and throw it away and put all new LED lay-ins in is $3,921. And that's, to me, is just astronomical. Without the rebate, it's $64.56. But with the Duke rebate being $25.34, that brings that total price down to $39.21. And to replace 57 2x4 lay-ins and then redo the bathroom lights, that's a killer price. I'm telling you, it's awesome for that amount of money.
So out of pocket for the town will be $39.21.
That's to replace everything with all new lighting. He said even if we take, see the new ones they have, you can take the ballast out of these. You put LED bulbs in them. You take the ballast out, rewire the wires, put LED bulbs in these, but the new LED bulbs won't shine through these old Paraplex lenses. You have to change the lens. So he had it in there to break it down and redo all the thing. It was roughly, I got it right here somewhere. The base bid was just for the repairs and redo the bulbs and all that was $23.86. And that's not to say that that's without the acrylic lenses. So that's just taking the ballast out, putting the bulbs in it. And if you have to go buy all new acrylic lenses, you might as well just buy the new lights.
So I was gonna say, just buy the new ones, because those LEDs, they'll last forever.
That's what I'm saying. And their lenses are clearer, you have 10 times. And number one, he told me too, it will cut that power bill just in there, that room, by 3/4. Because these, you have to heat the ballast up and get 4 bulbs to come on. I forgot the amperage that they pulled. The new LEDs, you don't have a ballast. It's just 4 2-watt bulbs or something. So the amperage is like astronomically reduced to where the power bill alone will be.
Also don't get hot.
They don't get hot.
Doesn't
And you
matter.
don't have to
All
heat the
those
ballast
piles
up.
either.
If it's cold in the room, that ballast has to heat up a lot longer before you get a full light out of that bulb. That gas and then fluorescence has to warm up. If it's cold in the building and you turn the lights on, then ballasts have to warm up to a certain temperature before the bulbs get enough energy to activate the gas. The new LEDs, you don't have all that. You don't have the ballast, you don't have the gas in the lamps. They're LED. And like I said, the power bill would be astronomically reduced. Just off that.
It'll be worth it.
The LEDs have a driver on them. That's close to
Exactly.
the ballast.
Exactly.
That basically reduces voltage going to the lights.
Big time.
120 down to 24, whatever it is.
It ain't even, I don't think, yeah, it's real low.
They put them in open shop.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's-
3 years ago, and I ain't changed the damn bulb yet.
You won't have to.
We didn't ours either, we changed.
But now with everything going on as it is already, why not go ahead and do it and then,
No, that's what I say about it. I think it was the 3,900.
and then Duke is what's doing the rebate, so we won't even have to deal with any of that.
Is this something that could come out of the auditorium budget?
Yes, all the items you discussed tonight for the auditorium that's not related to mitigation of water damage are in the neighborhood of about $65,000. And right now, we have funds for about 373 minus the 210 we've got headed towards DDI. So that leaves us about 160, the 65 for the items discussed so far, leave about 100,000 in there for the other things that we may need to expend for the auditorium. And we'll have more grant money coming back to that account as well as we get a chance to get reimbursed for some of the things we spent.
I'd like to make a motion for the 3,921.75 deal for lights. Base bid 2?
Option 2.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
7F, consider approval of budget amendment for maintenance.
Right now, on our, maintenance line item, we're down to about $12,000, and we had budgeted 89 for the year, so we've pretty much blown through it. And we're gonna need maybe double that, finish out the year, assuming there's no big issues like an AC unit. So, for that maintenance budget, I was going to recommend an amendment that combined, in addition to the maintenance line item of $50,000, that would, bring us another 12,000 for regular maintenance and leave us about 30,000 for things that may, if we have an AC unit go out or something large in the year. And I was also going to include 150 for mitigation and repairs for the auditorium. Right now, we're looking at 35 just for the mitigation so far, and we don't know what any repairs might cost or what any additional mitigation might be needed, whether it be asbestos, foundation, or anything. So I was gonna recommend 150 for that, and my recommendation was just gonna be a blanket number of around 200 for, the maintenance line item to cover general maintenance and for auditorium issues. And that'll give us enough breathing room, either that we have money left over to put back at the end of the year, or if we do have to add more, we'll have time to do it. We don't have to have it decided right this minute. So my recommendation is for a budget amendment, the amount of $200,000 for the maintenance line item.
Now, that includes.
Yeah, something else to think about, like, we got that quote from the deputies, room for the town, it was like 7,500 or 9,000 with the plywood underneath. And that was just for one office. If they remove all of the VCT from all those rooms in the basement, it's probably gonna be now again, insurance should pay for it, but it'll probably be a pretty expensive, flooring replacement project.
But you won't have to put no subfloor in. VCT will go right back on the concrete, once they get it dried out.
Yeah, it should just be for the carpet areas for that.
Yeah, me too, for the auditorium. Oh, I get out of here then.
We're talking about the bottom, the museum area, right? So the only wood in there actually is in the, back there on the risers. And
The risers.
Everything else is concrete.
Yeah.
So the concrete's clean, I don't know, unless, they may have to do like a leveling coat or something, feather it out or something, but I don't know if we need plywood. Other than the risers in there.
Do you think they'll have to rebuild those risers? That's what I was concerned about that.
Well,
I don't have it right in front of me. I think the plan, even with Blue Sky Restoration, is to try to dry out that wood.
Yeah.
Same as surf, right?
Well, any money that we don't spend will fall back at the end of the year into the fund.
And all that money we'll spend in the auditorium, we'll get that back on insurance pretty much. So if we do the 200, you said 200,000.
200, yeah, 50 for regular maintenance and 150 for mitigation and repairs.
I'll make a motion to approve the $200,000 amendment for maintenance line items. Continue to apply, I'll make sure we get our money back from the insurance company. We're gonna have to get it fixed, so.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you.
One suggestion, if they get that carpet up in the band room and get that drywall off those walls, I guarantee you they can save all that plywood. They won't have to do anything but, like you say, put a skim coat over it. The VCT on the concrete, once they get the VCT up, they'll run a sander across it, and there won't be no subfloor, there won't be nothing. They'll just re-glue it and put it back down. And you'd mentioned the asbestos. If that was cut back glue underneath them tiles, it would already be bleeding black around every square. So that tell you right there, they outlawed cut back glue because it was so full of asbestos. And it was like spreading tar. If that had asbestos in it, you would already see the black coming up around the edges of the tiles.
I think I had that board changed about 20 years ago.
Yeah, see, no,
I had PCT and The water basically.
Yeah, they outlawed back in, I would say,
78, I think, or 8, 78, maybe.
they outlawed cutback glue.
But I lost some of the glue we use.
Yeah.
All right, 8, reports and committees. 8A, January facilities report. That is in your packet. I don't guess anybody has any questions on any of these. December tax report. December deputy report. And finally, events committee report. And the committee reports. So does anybody have any questions on any of those others reports? Okay, the committee reports, technical coordinating committee.
Yes, so TCC, met on January 21st. I will email out the agenda to you guys. They also have later that day their new member orientation. That's all I got.
Okay, and then transportation advisory committee.
I don't have anything to add.
Okay, Western Pembroke Council of Government.
That, meeting was tonight. I couldn't get it.
Okay. Burke Development.
I do not have my notes on that, but I will get them when I get back in the office and email that to the council.
Vedic. Library board, we didn't have a meeting this month. And that's all the committees. Under other business, council may take action on any other business related to auditorium basement repairs. I guess we've gone over everything. Okay, so I just leaves number 10, closed session.
Make a motion to go into closed session.
All in favor? All right, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all. We appreciate that. Thanks.